It's no secret that Call of Duty has been dominating the gaming space for the past 20 years. Even after 21 mainline entries, the franchise still continues to break records and hold its ground as not only one of the most popular FPS games of all time, but also just about one of the most influential things in all of gaming. Every gamer has played at least one Call of Duty game in their life, even if it was just Warzone or COD Mobile. The game transcends gaming and continually proves itself to be a dominating entity in a popular culture at large. Hey, quick interruption. If you want to subscribe and you're new, feel free to do so. And if you want to hit a like, it helps me out a ton. We're going to be live streaming all of the Call of Duty campaigns in chronological order from now until whenever we finish. Back to the video. While the games continue to grow and adapt along with its fan base, it's important to understand that Call of Duty wasn't always what it is today. It started off as a small little game like all franchises do. But what exactly is the first Call of Duty? Well, I answered that question while I was asking it. The first Call of Duty was just titled Call of Duty, and this is its story. Call of Duty was made by Infinity Ward and published by Activision on October 29th, 2003. Shockingly, the game was actually a PC exclusive. Upon initial release, it never got a console port, meaning Call of Duty as a franchise was technically a PC game at its core. Obviously, future installments would instill its fame via the widely accessible console market. But it's interesting to know its origins are that of the desktop. The game takes place during World War II, and its campaign is actually split into 3, all of which takes place at different times. There's an American campaign, a British campaign, and a Soviet campaign. The American campaign follows Private Martin in August of 1942 through a series of missions, one of which takes place at the Battle of the Bulge, which was a battle that lasted for 5 weeks and was launched through the forest of the Ardennes region between Luxembourg and Belgium. No, I can't escape this. The British campaign follows Sergeant Jack Evans and his unit as they take part in Operation Tonga, which is the code name for an airborne operation the British 6th Airborne Division undertook in June of 1944. Lastly, the Soviet campaign starts during the Battle of Stalingrad in September of 1942 and follows Corporal Alexei Voronin. There's even a time jump into January 1945 where Voronin, now a sergeant, takes place in the Vistula Oder offensive, which was a Red Army operation that took place on the Eastern Front in Europe. We also get a first taste of Captain Price in this game as well.
We lost the captain. Damn, that was a very fine man.
Well, a sampling. It's not the same Price from COD 4, but rather an iteration. The cast also consists of many known voice actors, including Jason Statham. Shouldn't he be fighting sharks or something? The game really leans into the World War II setting, even implementing the shell shock mechanic, in which having an explosion occur near the player causes temporary blurry vision and loud ringing. Why exactly did Infinity Ward decide to place the first Call of Duty during World War II? Well, it's because of one game franchise in particular: Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor is a series of World War II FPS games originally created by Steven Spielberg. You heard me right. E.T., Jaws, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Schindler's List. Yes, it's that Steven Spielberg. Spielberg got the inspiration to make Medal of Honor after his time working on Saving Private Ryan. The first 3 games, Medal of Honor Underground, and Medal of Honor Allied Assault, were led by Spielberg in the story department. People loved Medal of Honor. It was the FPS experience at the time. Then, in 2002, around 21 employees who worked and had been project leads on Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which would release in 2003, left and formed a little company called Infinity Ward, where they began to make their own World War II FPS game. Call of Duty began development in April of 2002 under the supervising eye of Chief Creative Officer Vince Zampella, and the team grew to a whopping 27 employees by May of 2003. To make this even funnier, it was rumored that internally the team had nicknamed Call of Duty the Medal of Honor Killer. The dev team utilized the ID Tech 3 engine. This was utilized by a lot of games at the time, but most notably Quake 3 Arena. The dev team utilized the ID Tech 3 engine to craft their World War II experience. They also utilized an in-house skeletal animation system they called Ares. They also had a team whose job was to specifically develop an AI pathfinding component dubbed Conduit in order to give the enemy NPCs a more realistic reaction to gunfights that replicated things the players themselves could do. The campaign was clearly the focus of this game, as they wanted to compete with their old employer, Medal of Honor. But a multiplayer mode was implemented and can even be seen in an episode of The Office.
At the Stanford branch, they all play this World War II video game called Call of Duty, and they're all really into it. I'm told it started as a team-building exercise.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Ultimately, the budget of the original Call of Duty became a staggering $4.5 million, which is wild to think about considering how small a scale the game is compared to the follow-ups. Production finished, and it was finally time for Call of Duty to be unveiled to the world. The game was met with critical success. IGN gave the game 9.3 out of 10, saying, "You have to love a game that glues you to your seat and keeps you interested." Call of Duty did just that. I still think it may be a bit on the short side, but all other considerations outweigh that particular problem for me. I've played through the game twice and loved it both times, as well as had a lot of fun with the multiplayer over the last couple weeks. My complaints aside from the length are pretty small in terms of the experience as a whole. This really is a thrilling piece of software that action fans should grab a hold of and love fiercely. Get ready to cuss, get ready to shoot, get ready to die, and get ready to fight the Germans back into their house. Duty is calling, and you'd better listen to it, soldier. At the DICE Awards, Call of Duty won Game of the Year, Computer Game of the Year, and Computer First-Person Action Game of the Year. It also received nominations for Outstanding Innovation in Computer Gaming, Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition, and Outstanding Achievement in Sound Design. The game sold around 790,000 copies domestically, earning $29.6 million. I recently just played the campaign right here on YouTube, and honestly, for a 20-year game, this thing holds up. The controls felt smooth, the graphics didn't even look that bad, and the story was really good. Call of Duty 2003, while not outlandishly groundbreaking, was a solid FPS title thrown together by the people who made Medal of Honor but wanted to do more for the genre. Its cinematic approach to storytelling made it stand out amongst the crowd and solidified its staying power, and would return for a sequel in 2005. Without this game, the franchise would have never happened, and we really only have the original dev team at Infinity Ward to thank for taking a risk that could later become one of the biggest franchises in all of media. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you for COD 2.